it's well established that the run games from both teams are the primary options, and then the passing game might be the secondary option. And that both these teams like to establish themselves. But Jalen Hurts is not an MVP finalist and an Offensive Player of the Year finalist because he hands the ball off and runs for 6 yards on scrambles. Jalen Hurts is an MVP finalist and an Offensive Player of the Year finalist because he also throws the deep ball beautifully well when they ask him to. And I think it's going to be one of these deep shots that Jalen Hurts is going to have to hit for the Eagles to get by this 49ers defense. Here's how I envisioned it. And Kyle, we discussed it yesterday. I said it's going to be a low-scoring game. There's going to be one big play at the end. You said it could be a high-scoring game. Both these offenses are really good. Jason, Jamie, you've weighed in as well. But I see it as run, and then Jalen's going to have to make one of these. One of these deep passes. He has connected on 10 different passes of 20 yards or more for touchdowns this season. That's a crazy stat. This guy throws a beautiful deep pass, and a lot of it is set up from the run the ball. If San Francisco is bottling up that run, it might come down to Jalen Hurts' arm. I think he's up for the task. I really do. To me, the pivotal piece of the NFC Championship game will be that big play in the second half with it about 5:30, 6 o'clock Eastern, weather, crowd, cold weather, and Jalen Hurts is going to have to either play action or go back and drop back, and he's going to have to hit one of those 30 or 40-yarders to A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith.
We'll know it when we see it.
We will know it. It will happen.
That's the play.
We can bring this back up. We can bring this clip back. It will happen.
Yeah.
And if Hurts can hit that play, the Eagles are going to be just fine, and they've known that because they've set that up the entire start of the game. But if he doesn't hit that play, and D'Amico Ryans and that defense is ready for that play, and Hufanga, Jimmy Ward, any of those guys are there who can make the big play to stop that deep pass, then I think this one could be a Niners victory. There's going to be one or two deep passes. Jalen Hurts, that is where this game is going to be won.
I love what you said about both these offenses because they both come in and they want to establish the ground game and control the line of scrimmage, and it still comes down to quarterback play. That's the only way you're playing this week. You have to have a quarterback who's performing well at this part of the season, and Brock Purdy is doing that. We keep waiting each and every week. When is Brock Purdy going to have that huge mistake? We saw Brandon Graham talking trash at the coin toss against the Giants last week. Well, he has two other guys on that team, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and then Darius Slay. They just go by Slay. They talk a lot of trash, too. And Brock Purdy, yes, he has McCaffrey, he has Elijah Mitchell in the backfield, but he also is going to have to throw the ball as well. To Peter's point, Jalen Hurts is going to have to throw the ball down the field. Brock Purdy, it may not be deep shot here, deep shot there, but he's going to have to convert on third down. He's going to have to play action on first and second down, whether it's a 15-yard end cut or whatever the case may be. He's going against one of the better secondaries in the NFL. These guys have taken the ball away. Bradbury on the other side has been locked down. And Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, now he's healthy. He's back in the lineup, 6 interceptions on the season. So for Brock Purdy, this can't be the game where he makes a mistake. But on top of that, he's going to have to make plays with his arm in the air, getting past this Eagles secondary. And I know their front four is tremendous. They get after the quarterback. They put pressure on him as well. So for Purdy, it's going to be a huge game on Sunday to go out there and make plays with your arm, find his favorite target in Kittle, find Deebo Samuel. Shanahan's play design, he has to go out there and execute.
What's your gut? Can he do it?
I think he can do it.
Will he do it?
I think the Eagles are going to – I think the Eagles defensively are going to have the upper hand. We'll talk about it later, who I'm going with, but I think he's capable of it. We'll talk whether he'll do it. Yeah.
He's going to have to do it.
Don't miss the coin toss in this one. I'm here for the coin toss. Because, we saw last week Brandon Graham goes nuts and just starts calling out Giants by name, what's going to happen to him. I think he will do that again, and the Niners will talk back. Like, if Big Trent is out there, like, he's not standing for any of that stuff. Like, the coin toss could be fun. And I'll tell you this. I hope that the Eagles start with the ball, either because the Niners win and defer, or Sirianni says, no, we're taking the ball. We want it. Because I am so excited for the first drive for the Eagles on offense. I'm so excited for the first play because I believe it's going to be a running play. And we're going to see how it goes. And I don't know if it's going to be Sanders or Gainwell, but it's probably going to be up the middle, and it's going to be right into the teeth, and we're going to see who's tough and who's moving the chains or who's not. Like, this is what this game is about. The Eagles have had 2 games that Jalen Hurts has finished where they haven't run for 100 yards. Just 2. One of them was a loss to the Commanders in the middle of the season. The rest of the time, they just cruise. And if that first play is like, 5, 6, 8-yard run, that's a big victory. If it's Fred Warner in the backfield for a loss of 2, that place is going to go nuts. And by that place, I mean the Niners sideline. Classic tone setter. I'm thinking, like, Cam Chancellor hit Demarius on the first play of the Super Bowl. Like, you knew what time it was. The first play is going to be electric because I don't think it's going to be a deep pass, Peter. I think that one's coming.
That one's in the second half.
I think first it's like, let's see what you got, and let's see what you got. Our best versus your best. It's classic. It's a movable object. It's irresistible force. Look at that, man. That could be the play right there. Or maybe it's out the gate, and we're running downfield for a chunk play. First series, first play, coin toss, I'm in for it.
I think we have shown the Giants great shame this week by rolling that clip over and over again of Brandon. It is? Let's watch it again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey, I'm on that throwing arm all day, hey. Yeah. We running right at you now, son. You look like you tired from this week. I hope you try to chip, boy. You gonna hurt yourself. Yeah. You know I gotta mess with you, boy. Yeah, boy. Hey, didn't I tell you I was gonna get you, hey?
It's the maniacal laugh after the coin toss that just gets me. Because that man, that bad man, Brandon Graham, puts that helmet on and becomes an absolute psychopath. He really does. And we're here for it. We love it. I'm talking about Brock Purdy, though, as it pertains to that commentary that BG just threw, verbal commentary, verbal stones at Daniel Jones. I like to watch the body language of guys, especially young guys, in moments like this. And I specifically need a camera to follow Brock Purdy. The second BG wraps him up, slams him into the ground, stands over him for a beat, what does Brock Purdy do after that? Does he get up and shake the butterflies out of his helmet? Does he get up? Does he smile? Is he a maniac too? I think we're going to learn a lot about Brock Purdy this weekend. Win, loss, go on to the Super Bowl, go home. I think teams are going to learn a lot about Brock Purdy, how he handles a moment. The X's and O's are going to come. The plays are going to be there. It is going to be a fantastic game. But what we learn about this person put into scary, dangerous, terrifying situations when it comes to this pass rush for this Eagles team, getting after Brock Purdy, I think is going to show us a lot of who he is as a quarterback, as a leader, and how he gets his team into a situation when it is 3rd and 26 and how we got there in the first place.
You're right. And the goalposts seem to keep on moving for Brock Purdy. At first, it was like, all right, let's see him win a road game. Goes into Seattle. All right, let's see him win a playoff game. Beats it. Okay, let's see him beat Micah Parsons. Does it. Now it's like, let's see him win a game on the 33rd day of the year. And then, like, he's good.
Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah.
And yet, let's see how this one goes, because this atmosphere might be unlike anything he's ever seen.
I'm on that throwing arm all day, 1-3.
Right?
Hey, 1-3.
I hope you chip, boy. I hope you chip. So good.
McCaffrey, 2-2. I hope you chip.
Get after me. Let's go.